You guys want to hear a Father's Day poem or a mama poem?
Grandma.
Yeah, I'm going to do a Father's Day poem. Father's Day is coming up, and once again, the smell of thoughts of what Daddy wants fills the air around me. TV ads are doing underwears, watches, quality toolboxes, and I just smile, knowing that I ain't got to worry about that stuff. But I wasn't always like this. I used to get angry at my father for not being around. Sitting in a room full of third graders excited for summer, they were happy to be out of school, but me, I was giving off a fake smile because I knew Miss Lonnie would have us making Father's Day gifts to take home. My smile turns to a frown as we get out our paintbrushes and get ready to be creative. I didn't have a dad to give my gift to when I made one. I had a greater person, my grandpa. But the reason why I hated making stuff was because Miss Lonnie always judged us as one class and not individual third graders, assuming we all had a dad to come home to. As I see her pouring out her paints, I notice that she only pours enough to spell dad. What the heck? Can you please make an exception for me and see that I have to write grandpa and it won't be enough for the paint that you gave, so instead of me having to raise my hand and shine in the spotlight of being different, can I please just have a little more? This wouldn't be as hard to deal with if this special day wasn't just limited to being called Father's Day. We should have a father figure day for those who don't have a daddy around but do find another sense of guidance from those they feel have filled that void, that spot of a real dad. But that was third grade. When seventh grade came, I calmed myself down and saw the bright side of all of this. All the events that I was a part of where I had to invite those important to me, I had one less of an invitation, one less card to be printed, which was less ink to be used. I started practicing filling out my information on applications and some other stuff, and I would always be the first one done because all I had to write for my father's information was N/A. Some would read that as not applicable or no answer, but I knew that in my heart what it really meant was not around. But that was seventh grade. Now I've hidden my wounds and opened up my heart to put myself in my father's shoes. How do I know he had the choice to stick around for me? How do I know he isn't regretting the stuff that he did? I mean, I'm entitled to my own opinion, but do I really have to hold a grudge against him? Do I have to hate him? The world is full of anger, and I'm just adding to it by being hurt by his actions. All I know is the results of his choice to abandon me, not the reasons he had for leaving me. So I'll put this in the air and wait for him to explain to me why I wasn't at the top of his priority list. Today, I celebrate Father's Day. For my father, for all the other fathers around who had to leave their kids too, regardless if they might or might not be regretting it as we speak. I celebrate for those people who felt like me, who are like me, who didn't have a daddy around like me. And Father, if you're listening to this, I hope you know that the reason I acknowledge you as father is because I drew a fine line between being a father and being a dad. And quite frankly, you haven't crossed that line yet, and I don't intend on you ever doing so. But I do want you to know that I'm not mad, sad, angry, or holding a grudge anymore because I was raised and taught better by the people who did want me. And not to brag, but I don't think there's anything wrong with me. I have a good head on my shoulders, and it's getting better as I get older. I don't get caught smoking or fighting because I'm too busy writing for the next poetry slam. Oh yeah, I love writing, and if you're around, I think you'd be proud of me like Mom is and all the other people who've heard my stuff. But I must admit that it did take me a while to get out of the shadows of shyness. That's the one thing I got from you, was to create something and not man up enough to help it grow, to watch it do stuff and succeed. But I had some help with that from an inspiring teacher of mine. Wow. So there should be a thanks for not sticking around, because if I had you look up to, then I wouldn't have a place for these special people in my life. And to tell you the truth, it makes me feel lucky to see these people care for me. So wherever you're at right now, I want you to know that if it helps, I'm sorry for not fitting the requirements of needing you, not being important enough to have you stay and help Mom raise me. And most of all, I'm sorry for hating you without even knowing you. I want to say that this heals the wound and closes it up for you, but I can't. Because even though I moved on and forgiven you, there's still the pain of the little girl inside me that is hurting. I want to reach down and help her out, find heroes for her to look up to. But it's not possible, because she has gotten so used to putting the world at arm's length, because she felt that if she looked lonely enough, her daddy would come on his white horse